And we're back on the record with Kevin and Tiffany on 9:30 a.m. The Answer, home of conservative talk radio. We went a little bit off the rails on that one. Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
Hey, no problem. Why are you sorry?
You always get mad at me. Hey, you shouldn't have let me go over and talk to. I was so happy to talk to that committee.
So
they were awesome.
Let's talk about that, right? So we always believe that we need people actually out there doing the work,
and they are,
and showing examples of how the work can be done, right? So let's talk about what's going on right now, because I know you were in Austin last week, spoke at a committee. So walk me through that.
Well, I went to talk about Senate Bill 2180. That's Cody Harris, and Cody is a champion for the people. So of course I'm going to show up for that. So I get there, and I'm typical Baylor girl.
Late?
Got there early.
Oh, you got there early.
No, I got there early.
Okay.
Well, no, I was a little bit late. But that's Tiffany taking the wrong turn. I probably shouldn't be allowed to drive by myself. But anyway, we won't digress into that. I got there, and I wanted to listen to all of it. I wanted to listen to all of it. So I was sitting there listening to the other bills that were up before the committee, just enjoying the process.
Many bills? There's quite a few bills that were put through the process.
Yeah,
right?
so there were a number of them up, and then I got to see, of course, I'm a huge fan of Representative For Price. So he was there.
That's the guy whose number is not like the number 4, right?
Like the number 4, FOUR, yes. And so he was there, and I just adore him.
Is he from Beaumont? I'm sorry,
no,
I digress.
He's not from Beaumont.
Number 4, okay.
Representative Price, that's my husband trying to call you country for having a name 4.
I was about to go there, yeah.
Ignore Kevin.
It's like, what's his background? Number 4?
Well, anyway, so he was there, and, he has a heart for the people. So I knew it was going to be good. Like, whatever he put forward would be good. And he was putting forward 999, House Bill 999. And so I was there for that. It was really what made me drive down there and say yes to being there. But I actually was speaking for 2180.
Okay, so this process actually involves people coming and giving their input and their opinion on these bills, right?
Right. So it's where groups like ours, the Texas Kidney Foundation, we come in and we talk about, the effects of what this bill would do for us, or what it wouldn't do,
Okay, so essentially, if you aren't organized, if you're not aware of this stuff, if you don't have someone who's going to represent your viewpoints, it's potentially your group of people could be cut out, or the people that you represent could be cut out of this process, right?
And there's a lot of posturing, especially in the healthcare field, because like Kevin can tell you, I've had healthcare advocates call me up. We don't want you speaking for us. We need an articulate black. We don't need you out there talking with all your God stuff and all the mess you talk. We don't need you out there.
God!
You've heard those calls.
I've heard those calls, right? But so essentially, this is how the sausage is made.
Yeah.
As one of my Democratic friends here in the city says, this is how the sausage is made, and this is a process that we believe that all people, ADOS especially, should be involved in.
Yeah.
Right. We need to be involved in these processes and aware of how these laws are passed, and be aware of that. So you're there, you're involved in the process, and continue.
Yeah, because I believe that everybody that's going through kidney disease is very important. The people that are going through it, the people that will go through it, and 1 in 3 are at risk for kidney disease. 1 in 7 have some stage of kidney disease, and 9 out of 10 of those that have it don't know that they have it. So I'm representing a lot of people who don't have a voice. They don't even know that they should have a voice, So, I roll in with that, and we're representing chronic and rare kidney diseases. Rare and chronic kidney disease. So that is very important. I have a rare kidney disease, but I know, but I rose for the chronic as well.
Yeah, and that issue isn't,
Um,
and that issue can't be solved by a slogan.
Yeah,
It simply
it's not,
cannot. It's a very specific issue.
and that's what it's been all the way up until now. Because you hear the advocates saying early detection, but they don't do anything about that.
And they don't even really know what early detection is, to be honest.
Yeah, it's
with
just
you.
like the lady who's out there with her little book on woke. They don't know what they're talking about, and they're not doing anything about the problem other than talking about the problem, not action towards solutions. And so we were there to represent action towards solutions.
And I'm going to stop here because I love this. I love talking about this. And this is an example of something that affects ADOS, the American Descendants of the Formerly Enslaved, right? It primarily affects us by the percentage, right? But we're looking to build coalitions. And we know that there are non-ADOS people who are also impacted by this. And their numbers are larger than ours. Mm-hmm. But we have a common goal, right? We're not just talking a slogan. We're not just out there saying, hey, we believe in early detection. We're defining what early detection is. We're also building coalitions with other people who don't necessarily have our identity, the same identity that we take up, but they're Americans and they're impacted by it. And we're participating in the process together to come up with a common solution. Right?
It doesn't primarily affect us. It disproportionately affects us. But when you start looking at those numbers, half of the people that are affected by kidney disease are white.
Yep.
We literally have every people group that is within the kidney disease family, if you will. There are diseases, there are specific genetic that specifically in a genetic sense affect the Asian population disproportionately more. That would be polycystic kidney disease. IgA is one of those as well. You have white people affected by FSGS.
Yeah, in larger numbers, yeah.
Yes, and diabetes-related kidney disease. People talk about it in terms of diabetic nephropathy. So it's affecting all of us, yet it's been given a black and a brown face when it really should be given the faces of the United Colors of Benetton, because that is what it is. It's everybody, and it's nobody. It's everybody. It's everyone. So it's like when stuff is politicized, you can quagmire in the politics of it. But anyway, when I got there, I was like, oh well, it's the usual thing, and I start listening, and I heard a fiery group going after better healthcare outcomes for Americans and actually putting policy into place that addresses the big players, which would be the hospitals and the doctors that are servicing us. And they weren't bamboozled by the fancy suits, the horn-rimmed glasses, and the eloquent arguments. And that is something to be proud of. Realize that that's why government exists. That's why we have government. That's why we have elected officials. And I can tell you that it was across the board, too. There were Republicans and Democrats on this committee. There are, and they were in lockstep that people need to be put first in this process and not profits put first.
And that's a big thing that you and I emphasize. I know in our talks about the Palestine, Ohio thing is that we're saying, how is the decision made? Was it based on? And most decisions are based on profit and not the quality of life for people, right? And so we all know the fact that when it comes to chronic kidney disease or all these other chronic illnesses, it is oftentimes the process in which people are either diagnosed or in which technology or medications are deployed. It is those processes that are involved around that. And so that is generally my gripe, and it was the gripe of individuals there. One, they don't want to reveal their prices to be consistent. Two, they don't want to talk about the processes that they use to diagnose people, and are they even required to tell people? And with chronic kidney disease, as is the same with those rare kidney diseases, they don't tell you about your blood, about your numbers, and your numbers being your lab work numbers, what that lab work means. And oftentimes they'll see you progressing towards something, and they'll just monitor you versus sitting down with you and having a candid conversation of, hey, buddy, if you keep down this path right here, you have a dialysis machine in your future.
Yep.
Right? Or, hey, these set of things here, right, indicate this, and let's do additional testing. Yep. Right? And here's a really sad part, right? At first I thought, oh man, there's some type of conspiracy, and oftentimes there simply isn't. The physician or the primary care person simply doesn't know.
They don't know. When we started looking into this, and I was telling Kevin, this people.
Because I thought there's a conspiracy. Oh my God.
Most people are not out trying to pull a fast one.
But the assumption that I have is if you go by the swag that a lot of these physicians and primary care people take on, they know everything.
Well,
and
first
you
of
know
all,
nothing.
You're not around a lot of PCPs. You're not around a lot of primary care physicians. You're actually around mainly nephrologists.
Oh, they're arrogant
they do have
as well?
a lot of swag. They do roll with a lot of swag. The specialists,
arrogance.
whenever you're dealing with the specialists, any of the specialists, then you know the part of the training is that they have to be confident in their decision making. And when you instill confidence in people, then it manifests in a lot of different ways.
You mean when you instill confidence in insecure people?
So give them a little pass because they do a lot of great work. Okay, that's my statement about that. Primary care physicians, to me, and primary care practitioners.
Yeah, 60
primary
seconds,
care practitioners are a different animal because we're asking them to do a lot of things with a lot of protocols. So we need to be very specific when we're dealing with primary care practitioners. And we haven't been. We haven't given them the knowledge that they need. And when I say we, I'm using the Queen's we. I'm talking about the medical industry. The medical industry has not given them the direct protocols and implemented them. Like, hey, this is what needs to be done here in stages 1, 2, and 3. This is what we want you to do. They've given them a very lenient just monitor. Well, as long as you tell people to just monitor, that's what they're going to do. You got to change the protocol. Tell them a different set of rules. That's where big government comes in. And I saw it at work for the best. Thank you, Healthcare Reform Committee, Healthcare Insurance Reform Committee. Y'all are the best.
I would not say big government. I would say appropriate government intervention. Let's say that.
Yeah, appropriate government intervention.
So that way people.
Not big government. I'm sorry. I just said an anti-us thing. Appropriate government intervention.
There we go. You've been
government is necessary.
You've been listening to On the Record with Kevin and Tiffany on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Tiffany and Kevin,
home of conservative talk radio.